yogurt, salad, barbecue, sorted. Spa, there for you.
Only Frontline Spot On provides long-lasting protection for both cats and dogs against fleas and ticks. Frontline Spot On, the jet from lovely contrast.
Glad we're home. Yeah, food would be no idea.
If you're looking for an after-school snack, Cocoa Pops and cold milk make perfect partners. Cocoa Pops and milk are a bowl full of chocolatey fun even after school.
Cocoa Pops and milk are a bowl full of fun after school.
The city gardener turns an Ealing scrub into a patch of paradise in half an hour after floral celebrations of the Queen's Golden Wedding Anniversary in Gardener's World.
This year, BBC Gardeners World Live celebrates its 5th anniversary with a show that seems to be even more popular than ever. Here at the NEC in Birmingham over the next half hour, Kate Search, Pippa Greenwood and myself will be looking at the plants, the gadgets and the people that make Gardeners World Live a feast of floral fun. Everyone's silent.
Very simple and straightforward. It doesn't involve too much hard work.
You know, sometimes I think we're too timid in the way we colour scheme our gardens. We'd rather stick to soft pastels than use vibrant colours that might offend. Not so on Sunflower Street, where Midlands Garden Centres are strutting their stuff. This small garden, designed by Fosters of Lichfield, really goes for the reds, the oranges and the yellows. Here we've got bright red petunias and scarlet salvias. Scarlet busy lizzies and castor oil plants. There's an even greater tropical flavour from cannas or Indian shot and even bananas. You know, whatever the weather, if you came out onto this patio, you wouldn't half feel the heat.
I'm not really sitting here with my feet up because there are far too many exciting things to see here at the show. What I'm sitting on and what I'm surrounded by is compost, brown gold. It's a bit of fun, but it does have a serious point. The more we can compost our garden and household rubbish and either dig it into the soil or spread it on the surface as a mulch, the better we'll conserve moisture. And that's the message that Severn Trent Water are trying to get across here in their garden. It always strikes me as jolly unfair that we gardeners are the first to get it in the neck with hose pipe bans as soon as there's a water shortage. Because after all, we use less than 3% of all the water used in this country. That said though, water is a precious resource and it does make sense to use it wisely. So recycle it as they've done here with these pipes strung around the garden and filtered onto the garden through this rather large watering can. Although they've used drought-resistant planting here, this is the one place in the garden where you could use moisture-loving plants. If you're choosing new plants for your garden, then it really does make sense to go for those that are drought-resistant. Look for silver-leaf plants like this beautiful Convolvulus neorum, or those with fleshy, spiky leaves like Syrinchiums and Phormiums. Or, as they've chosen for this part of the garden, things like the blue scabious and the pretty little rock pink. They use gravel and slate to make a very attractive patch in this part of the garden, but it doesn't just look good. It also helps conserve the moisture in the soil, and that, after all, is what this garden's all about.
The marquee here is like a treasure trove for keen gardeners. I always like coming around and seeing what I can spot. And this stand seldom disappoints. Brian Hiley is a nurseryman from Wallington in Surrey who grows up an amazing range of plants. This year his stand looks a bit like the Antiques Roadshow because there's some very ancient goodies in here. Calceolaria Kentish Hero with those orange pouches. This is a slipper flower reputedly grown by medieval monks. Lasted extremely well over the last 400 years. A cool conservatory plant, easy to propagate by cuttings. Might even get through the winter outdoors in the south of England, but best really kept free from frost. A really good plant. Not quite so old is this unique pelargonium. Now, the uniques are a group of pelargoniums. They've got aromatic foliage, and in this case, crimson unique, flowers of a soft, dusky red with deep crimson staining in the centre. Now, this plant will grow at least waist high, and it'll flower from spring right the way through to autumn. Again, dead easy by cutting. As is this, my last choice plant on this stand, Solanum concifolium, another good one for a cool conservatory. Relative of the potato, it has these large flowers of deep purple with golden anthers, easy to propagate by cuttings, or by these berries which when they grow fat, like Solanum capsicastrum, the winter cherry, you can squash, put on the surface of compost, cover with gravel, and up comes a rash of seedlings. So from one plant, you really can make a lot of your own.
I fell in love with this beauty, Stipa tenuissima, here at Gardeners World Live a couple of years ago, and I've just planted ribbons of it through my new garden. And this year there are some even more beautiful grasses to tempt us all. Blooms of Brettingham, for example, have this one, Carex rustic pearl. Isn't it lovely? And this is a new one to me, Chlonocloa rubra. It has the most wonderful bronzy stems, which apparently go even more bronze in the winter. Just imagine that with the low winter sun shining through it. Grasses do make the most wonderful garden plants, but of course you don't just have to grow them in the garden. They make stunning container plants. Goldenfields Nursery has this really striking Elemus magellanicus. Just look at this bright, steely blue foliage. Isn't it wonderful? And even Stipa tenuissima looks quite different in a pot. On PW Plant stand, grown with a striking black stem bamboo, Philostachys nigra, there's New Zealand hooksedge, Uncinia rubra. It's a lovely evergreen grass, not available till the autumn, but well worth waiting for. But that's the thing about grasses, there is just such variety. There are small, chunky ones, and tall, slim, elegant ones, like the Calamagrostis acutiflora ovidan on the Hall Farm nursery stand. Look at that haze of smoky, pale mauve flowers. It's lovely. And of course there are grasses for every situation, even for the margins of ponds, like the Cyperus longus here, a wonderfully elegant, fair, almost Japanese-looking plant. Why do you think grasses have become so popular?
I think it's a combination of reasons. Firstly, their long season of attractiveness, and also the way they associate so well with other garden plants. Whatever you plant them with, they seem to look good. And one factor that I really enjoy about grasses is the movement that they add in the garden when the wind catches the stems and gently blows them.
At a show like this, there are 1,001 brilliant ideas to help you with your gardening. But what if you've never even made your own hanging baskets up? You see lovely things like this, and you don't actually know how to achieve them. But come to a stand here, and you can be told everything you need to know, and better still, you can even buy it. From the basket, to the liner, to the compost, slow-release fertilizer granules, the moisture-retaining granules, and even the exact number and combination of plants you need to create the basket of your choice. That's what I call making it really easy. Once you've made up your basket, you're always told to rotate it so that it flowers good and evenly. And that's a really difficult, heavy job. But with this tiny plastic gizmo, you attach it onto the bracket of the hook, and you can very easily rotate it with almost no effort at all. the bag is excellent if you're growing things like daffodils or dahlias, which you need to lift or want to lift when they stop looking so attractive. It's great because it lets the moisture into the soil inside, but it doesn't let the roots out, so everything stays good and compact. The other container everyone tends to grow things in is the growing bag. If you've got one and you find watering it and feeding it quite a task, all you need is something like this. You dip yourself into the top of the growing bag, and you